Hey, this is Nathan from The Edible Home. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I turned some $3 storage containers from Bunnings into my own little edible garden. Let's get started. Here's my $3 containers. So I picked these up, these were on special, and I thought they'd be perfect for this kind of job. I'm actually going to put these in my backyard, and I also have some plans to put it on our front balcony as well, just to make the use of any space that we have. The most important thing in our container garden project is going to be the soil mixture that we put into it. So let's go take a look at the mixture that I'm using today. The mixture is going to contain four main ingredients. The first one is this stuff. This is coconut core, it's called. It's basically the husk, the fiber of a coconut that's been ground up and into a pulp, and basically you add water to it and it expands massively, and it's really good for keeping water in the soil, which is really good for especially seedlings and things like that. Okay, so that's the first ingredient. The next one is just some organic potting soil, potting mix, nothing really special there. Organic compost is the next ingredient. If you have your own compost, definitely use that. I don't have compost ready to use yet. I've just dipped my toes in the water of compost, so for now I'm still buying my compost. And the last ingredient is this stuff. This is mushroom compost. I've heard that it's good to add some fungi and, kind of bacteria into the soil, so this is going to be a bit of an experiment. So let's see how we prepare all of this and mix it together. Okay, I've got my coconut core here and I've put it in a wheelbarrow. I don't really know how big the storage capacity of this wheelbarrow is. It's a pretty standard wheelbarrow. So all you're going to do is add your block of coconut core. I think this packet came with 2 blocks, so this is just one of them. And you're going to fill this wheelbarrow up about halfway. So if you were using both blocks, you'd fill it all the way. But in this case, we're just going to fill it halfway, and you'll see as you add water to the coconut core, it expands a lot, and you need to break it down as it expands. So let's get started doing that. So here it is. This is the coconut core with the water added to the wheelbarrow, and what you'll find is it's quite solid at the moment, but in about 15-20 minutes. This will have expanded, quite a bit. And the end goal is to take the coconut core and break it up into this water, so that this will basically become kind of almost a solid. So, as I mentioned, the value of this stuff is to add water retention to the soil. So what I'm going to be doing is, just as this goes, I'm just going to be breaking it up a little bit as I go. So just using my hands. I'm sure you could use other tools to do this. Just breaking off bits and pieces. So you want to do this over about 15 minutes. So as you can see, this stuff has really expanded and absorbed all the water, and it's become kind of a, like a fluffy dirt. It's really quite cool. And as I mentioned, it's really good for water retention, but it's also really useful when you have a self-watering container or a self-watering pot. This stuff acts like a wick, and it draws the water that sits in the bottom of those types of containers up into the soil. So those containers don't actually work without some kind of medium like this. And coconut core is a really good resource to utilize, because coconuts, people eat them all the time, and one coconut plant can actually grow, over 100 coconuts a year, so it's pretty cool. Let's move on to the next step, which is basically taking some of this coconut core. I'm going to do about a third coconut core mixture into these $3 plastic containers. We'll be taking that stuff, filling up about a third of the way of the container, and then we'll be adding some of the other stuff. So let's get started doing that. Okay, now that's done, let's move on to adding the compost and the potting mix. Okay, so I'm going to add about half organic compost and half of the mushroom compost. Now the final step is just to add the potting mix. We'll just fill up the rest of the container and then we'll mix it in. Okay, that's one down. I've got 3 more to go. Join me in a few minutes after I've repeated the same process with the other 3. Okay, that's hard work. I've got my soil mixed into my 4 containers. All you need to do next is plant your plants in and then give it a good water. So let's have a look at what I'm planting today. Earlier today I went to my local nursery and I picked up some veggies and some flowers. I actually got this silver beet, or rainbow chard as it's known in the USA, for $1. It's in a bit of a ratty state, but I think I might be able to help it out. Maybe get some nice edible veggies. I've got some lemon basil. I've never tried that before, so keen to give that a whirl. And some flowers, so some marigolds and some pansies. So hopefully the marigolds and the pansies will attract bees and other pollinators, which will help the rest of my garden out, as well as, I don't know, maybe attract some lady beetles or things like that, so that we can get some organic pest control happening. Here's a quick tip for when you get your seedlings in a container like this. Use a butter knife to get them out of there. So all you do is you slip the knife in the side there, and then you can lever it up. I've separated my rainbow chard from the seedling packs, and now all you really need to do is just dig a little hole and then plonk it in. And then fill in the soil. You want to fill it up to the point where the seedling was sitting, so here the seedling is sitting just here, so you'd want to fill up the soil up to that point. Okay, there's my chard in, or my silver beet. Now I can plant out the rest and put these on my balcony. So here they are. This is my finished container garden. I've changed up the seedlings that I was going to plant in there. I think it would be best to plant the pansies and the flowers elsewhere in the garden. So what I've ended up going with is some lavender, spinach, some red Tuscan kale, some rocket, some lemon basil, and some silver beet. So the next step that you would usually do with this kind of setup is to just get a hand drill and drill some holes in the bottom of these containers. What I've learned is that these containers are actually quite fragile, so you need to kind of press very gently with your drill. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to put these on the balcony first, because I don't want to be dripping water all throughout my house. Okay, I've got my planter box here on my little veranda, and the next step is just to drill the holes in them. So I'm going to have to do it very carefully. I think the way I'm going to do it is to pick up the planter and put it on the balcony railing, and then support it from underneath and then drill up. I don't think I'm going to need too many holes, just enough so that the water doesn't pool in the bottom of the container, because that would create all sorts of issues like root rot, and we don't want that. So on to the next step. So I'm not pressing too hard. I want quite a lot of centrifugal force rather than upward pressure, because if I put too much pressure on this, it's going to shatter the plastic on the bottom, which is quite brittle, and then dirt and everything's going to go everywhere, and it's going to be a waste. So just take it easy and then you'll be right. So that's it. That's all you need. You only need some cheap storage containers, a nice good soil mixture. Drill some holes in the bottom, plant your plants, water them in, and then you're good to go. That'll do us for today. I hope you join me again next time on The Edible Home.